Hello, everybody. How you doing on this afternoon? I was just riding. I was just coming from the gym. I'm exercising, y'all. I ain't too old, I'm 59 years old, but I just feel like I need to be exercising and I need to get down off some of this weight that I picked up during COVID. And some of that weight, when you get a certain age, it began to stay with you a little while longer. So I've been going to the gym, getting on the just working out, trying to work these muscles out and trying to lose some weight, y'all. And so, what I came on here to say was, you're never too old to do anything. As long as you're alive and well, you're able to get up and do whatever you desire to do. You're never too old. Many times we think when we get a certain age, maybe our children is grown and they're all out the house and ain't nobody there but us and our spouses, and that we feel like that we're too old to do certain things. But I'm here to let you know you are never too old to do anything. You're never too old. If you want to go back to school, you're never too old. All you got to do is go ahead and apply and go to school, whatever subject God told you to study. And you're going to get your degree. Guess what? Because God's going to give you photographic memory. He's going to give you memory so you can be able to study, and not only study, take the test and pass the test, and not only that, retain it over to whenever you're going to need it again. So God has that ability. And so I just came on here to let somebody know that you are not too old. And the reason being, many times, the enemy is talking to us. It ain't God talking to us, because God said it in Philippians 4:13 that we can do all things through him who strengthened us, that we can do it all. You know what I'm saying? That should be no limits on what you can accomplish. As long as God is by your side, there should be no limit. And what we got to do is take God out the box. He's not in a box. God is almighty. He's sovereign. God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we could ask or think, according to the power that works on the inside of us. So I don't care how old you are. You 70, you 80, you 90. You are not too old. If God has called you for a specific thing, you are never too old to do it. You know what I'm saying? And so don't allow the devil to make you to walk in fear about the unknown, or fear of what's to come. Don't allow the devil to do that. 2 Timothy 1:7 said we should not have the spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. So I was riding down the road coming from the gym, and I just kept hearing, you're never too old. I was like, yeah, okay, God, I'm never too old to, to try to work out some of these muscles. And how you get stiff. You ain't doing no exercise. You sitting home, only exercising the spoon. You eating snacks. I'm a snack person. I love snacks, especially late at night. I'm a snack person at night. And so I got to have some discipline. So when late at night, I've been wanting to go in there to get me a snack, maybe, something like some yogurt and put some fruit in it and eat that. I've been using self-control. I've been making sure that I don't go in there and get nothing extra. After I ate supper, that's it. That's all she wrote after I eat supper. But it's so very important that we know that the enemy doesn't want us to do and the things that God has asked us to do in the lifetime that we're here. But I'm here to let you know you're never too old. If I can go and do certain things, I know you can go do certain things. And when you go in the gym, there's everybody in there from all age group. Younger people, middle-aged people, older people. It's people in there for every age group. And so, it's so very important that, we work and we work out, we exercise, if it ain't nothing but walking around the block a couple of times. But I went outside, when I went outside a while ago, I was like, man, it's hot out here. And I looked on the thermometer in my car, and it said 90 something. I said, what you say, 90 something? In the middle of March, 90 something degrees. Now, that's God. But anyway, what I came on here to tell you was you're never too old. So if God has told you to do something, go and do it. Please go and do it, because you will never be fulfilled if you don't do it. Because you're always later on down the line, you're gonna wonder, if I would have did this, what would have happened. So don't be regretting nothing. Go and do it. Whatever God has told you to do it. You're never too old. You're never too old. You're never too old. As long as you're alive and well, clothed in your right mind, you're never too old to do whatever God has put in your heart to do. You're never too old to do it. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? Just like what Nike, just do it. Don't think about it. You know, when many times when we walk out in faith and believe God at his word, he already got places already prepared for us, but we won't know it until we step out in faith. And when we step out in faith, then God began to bring the people that we need for any particular situation that we need in our lives. So if we don't walk out in faith and we don't step out and move, if we don't rise up and walk, we'll never know what we can do in God. You know, we can do all things according to his word, you know. So I just came on here today. Well, like I said, I was riding back from the gym and I heard you're never too old. I said, okay, that must be a word for not only me, but somebody else on today. So you're never too old. Just believe that you're never too old. And you know, long as you got your right mind, you're able to study. You know, just like we did when we was coming up, we was able to study. We able to retain the information. We able to, when we took that test, we able to pass it. And then, you know, some of the stuff that I've learned when I was in nursing, I still remember that stuff. Why? Because it stayed with me. And God gave me the photographic memory so I can remember it. So even after I passed the test, and now later on in life, I still remember that stuff. And so God is going to help you, man and woman of God. If he's told you to go back to school, get your degree and whatever, you can do it. With the help of the Lord, you can do all things. You know what I'm saying? So you're never too old. You're never too old. You're never too old. Amen.